So you need to do whatever it takes to hit your first $10,000 liquid. And when I say liquid, I'm talking about $10,000 of cash. You can, either put into the stock market. If you get a flat tire, you can cover it. If you lose your job, you're not panicking and, trying to find where the money's at. Like $10,000 that you can access at any point, guys. It is so important that you guys hit your first 10,000 because this financial goal, at least in my opinion, is the beginning of getting out of survival mode and going into growth mode. Now, I'm not going to come on here and tell you guys to, start an online business or, drop out of school. And that stuff is completely unrealistic. And as someone who's been through, paycheck to paycheck, working multiple shifts, being in school, and also now running a successful online business, I fully understand how difficult it actually is to run an online business. So when I see people online telling you, oh, if you put a couple $100 in the S&P 500, or oh, you start an online business or an agency and you're going to be good. Like, guys, that is just not the case, and that's not realistic. So in today's video, I'm going to break down what I personally did, okay? Because I was in debt. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I want to break down what I did to get out of survival mode and hit my first $10,000, and then what I did after, which helped me go from $10,000 back in 2020 to now I'm sitting at over $2 million net worth. I'm making around 50 to 70K a month profit. You can believe me or not, my channel's still brand new. I'm going to show you guys more proof. There's no point in me showing screenshots and stuff because that can all be fabricated. I'm going to show you guys my life, the stuff that I actually do, my purchases, and then you can tell if I'm lying or not. But it's pretty obvious from what I'm explaining because I've lived it. Even if you look at my comments, like, people understand because I've actually lived it. I want to just go back to 2019 and go through my experience going through survival mode, man. That was probably one of the roughest years of my life. I was in university. I was studying at University of Toronto, one of the best universities in the country. I was working a dishwashing job and I was helping my parents in the family business. Now, at that point, guys, I was living literally paycheck to paycheck. Like, I had maybe $100 in savings. I was going out with my friends and, I wanted to live life. I was in university, so I didn't have savings at the end of every month. If I was short on bills, I would use my credit card. I was starting to rack up credit card debt, and I would honestly struggle to sleep at night because I saw what was happening. The debt was starting to increase. I had to pay for bills. I had to pay for my car, and I knew I had to make a change. Now, if you're in this point right now, if you feel the same right now, I totally understand you. And what you think you're supposed to do is probably, start an online business or, start a side hustle. But let me explain why you shouldn't do that. If you start an online business while you're in survival mode, while you're struggling to pay the bills, when you're desperate for money, what you're going to do is you're going to start your online business or your side hustle. And if you don't make money right away, you're going to quit because you're so limited on time and you're stressed and you're so used to working and getting paid for your work. And when you put in the effort, you follow YouTube video, you follow tutorial, you do everything right. If you don't get the results right away, you quit. And that's completely normal. That was what I did too. In 2019, I tried streaming. I don't know why I tried starting to stream. I tried being a streamer and I quit after 2 weeks. I streamed for a little bit. I posted some YouTube videos. I got no views and I was like, oh, this is it. I'm done. Right? But the model of streaming works. But when you're in survival mode, when you're stressing for money and you don't got money and you got bills to pay, you don't really have time to actually focus and give yourself the time to succeed. So what I did, guys, in 2019, and I'm not telling you guys to do the exact same thing as me, but this is what I did. I actually dropped out of university. Okay, so I dropped out of university and I took more shifts as a dishwasher. So that's what I would suggest. Like, I would suggest saving up your first couple thousand from literal physical labor. And it could be anything. It can be taking an extra shift, or it could be working Uber. It can be literally anything. Okay, but make sure you're working and you're getting paid for your time. Okay, right now your time isn't that valuable, right? You got to just put in the extra hours. I know you might have a family, you might be tired, you might want to be social, but just grind until you get a couple $1,000s saved. All right, now I know it's embarrassing, and I was embarrassed as well. Like, imagine, like, I dropped out of university. My friends who are now becoming doctors and physiotherapists, when I dropped out, they're like, oh, like, what are you doing? Are you starting a business? Are you doing this? And I was like, no, man, I'm actually, I'm just taking on more shifts as a dishwasher, because I'm behind on bills. And when I was at university, I was at a good university with my friends. They had money. Their parents were well off. They were helping them. And they kind of looked at me like didn't laugh at me. They didn't make fun of me, but like I felt embarrassed. It's embarrassing. And I don't like that society looks down upon, people who work fast food or work dishwashing jobs or work cleaning jobs. But, it is what it is. But the truth is you have to drop your ego. You have to put your head down. You got to get to your first 10,000. I suggest doing physical labor. Whatever you think you can do to get there, do it. The next thing though, you're not going to get to your goal of $5,000-$10,000 without auditing your finances and going through your bank statements. You guys have to do it. And I'm not going to tell you guys to cut out your lifestyle and cut out coffee, but look through your bank statement. And all I want you to do, just do one thing. And I'm going to go to the next book. Just do this one thing. Look through your bank statement. So download your last month's bank statement, and whatever you see that makes your stomach kind of like, ugh, like, oh, why did I spend so much there? Or like, oh my God, Netflix, like I haven't watched Netflix in 6 months. Whatever gives you that feeling, and you'll know exactly what it is, cut that out completely. Okay? Cut that out. And I promise you right now, if you go through your bank statement, you'll be able to save $300 to $500 a month. I promise you. All right. So if you can save $300 to $500 a month from spending on unnecessary things and make an extra $500 or $700 a month from taking an extra shift, in a couple months, you'll have a couple $1,000s saved. Now, I understand if you have debt or, you're behind on bills, and I get it. It might take a little bit longer. Okay. But guys, we're on earth for a long time. All right. The world isn't ending tomorrow. So you might as well just get started today, work on clearing your debt, get to a couple $1,000s saved. Now, what's super important is you don't stay in that mindset of survival, and you don't want to stay working those graveyard shifts. You don't want to stay in that mindset of, okay, I can just keep working these graveyard shifts and save and save and save. Once you get a couple $1,000s saved, you have to transition into growth mode. You have to start taking a little bit more risks, and that's when you want to start your side hustles, guys. Now, the side hustle that I did, it started as a side hustle and now is my full-time gig. It's my full-time business, is selling digital products. Now, I have a full course dropping on Saturday, so I don't want to go fully in depth on how to sell digital products and how to find the product, but that's what I did. And you guys can YouTube it and try to find other videos, but I am dropping a full course on Saturday. I'm going to go over everything step by step. It's going to be a pretty long video, but if you're interested, make sure you're subscribed for that video. But whether you do digital products or another business model, the one thing I ask, and I'm so lucky, the one thing I will say, my parents, because they ran a business themselves, it wasn't the best business, but they told me, hey, look, if you're going to start your business, make sure you just focus on your business. Don't have your mind in too many places, and give yourself the time to succeed. It's like going to the gym, guys. You're not going to get a six-pack overnight. You might not even get a six-pack in 1 month, 6 months, maybe not even a year. Some people don't get six-packs in 1 year going to the gym. But if you keep going, and you try to get better every single month or every single day, you try to get a little bit better, you'll eventually reach your goal. Okay, so you can't give yourself this pressure of, okay, I'm going to make $10,000 in my first month, and if I don't, then I'm a failure, and this business model doesn't work, and I'm going to quit. Guys, you got to remove that mindset. That's not a winning mindset. Give yourself the time to succeed, and I promise you guys, it will pay off. Like, we're living in a digital gold rush right now. Like, don't believe people online telling you, oh, it's fake and it's not real. It's real. People are making millions of dollars. That's why I always say Gen Z in this generation is the hardest to build wealth, but it's the easiest to get rich, because we can literally press a couple buttons on your laptop or your phone and start making money. There's never been a time in the world that you can do that. And you can, with AI and with outsourcing work to overseas, you can literally spend an hour or 2 hours a week and run a business. Okay, so do whatever it takes. Get to your first $10,000. You don't have to wait until $10,000 to start your online business or side hustle, but at least have a couple $1,000s in your name and have that, that stress. I know that stress feeling, man. Get that stress feeling away, save some money. And I promise you guys, man, when you hit your first $10,000, the next thing you know, you're going to blink and you'll be at 100. All right, I have a really cool video as well. It went pretty viral. It's at 15K views. It says all you need is 100K. Once you get to 10K, and then you get 100K, you're done. I'm telling you right now, you pretty much already won. You pretty much already won the game. It's just a matter of when. Okay? Keep your head up, guys. Stay positive. Subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, you guys can comment it down below. I'm super excited for the course dropping on Saturday on YouTube. Fully free. It's going to be maybe an hour long, going fully in depth. Make sure you're there. And I'll see you all in the next one.